Okay, yeah, so I am switching things up a bit. Right now, I'm trying to like fluff. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm peeling over it because I was looking a little janky. Whatever. But, yeah, doing things a bit different, like I told you guys before. Um, just because, I want to revamp. Like the Holy Spirit just laid upon my heart to kind of revamp some things, and then it's what I'm gonna do. The reason why I'm up early too, y'all, is because I had a workout session today. Take this out. Why I chose my degree in MPH and how is it beneficial to me or to anybody. This can help somebody who's confused about if they want to take the medical side of healthcare or the policy and procedure analyzing side of healthcare. So check out all this on my face, child. Oh no, right here. So yeah, so that is what I'm gonna be talking about. I got a few minutes and yeah, we're gonna get started. So I am gonna be eating, child, while I'm doing this. I call myself trying to write stuff down on what to tell y'all, but we just gonna kind of wing it, okay? Why I chose, hold on. Okay, so like I was saying, I had to go get the mic, because my headphones were not headphoning. And y'all, this mic, I don't know, it does what it want to do. They have this nice little clippy thing for your clothes on there, and it just doesn't clip. So yeah, girl, look up. My forehead is so oily. But anyway, so after I graduated high school, I was like, oh, I just was so sure that I was gonna be a doctor, child, a clinician type of doctor. And after I did my medical assistant thing, I realized I don't want to do this. This is not for me. This is not my calling. Now, let's not say it might not be my calling, but I was so gung ho on like being a OBGYN. And I think majority of us either goes for OB, cardi, neuro, all those fancy things. But the more I got in depth into it, the more I realized this is not it. This is not what I want to do. So I decided to switch reins after I had a little setback. And I was like, what is it I really want to do? I knew that I was interested in the body, the diseases, and analyzing things and how they work and how they connect, but I didn't want to do the clinical side of it. Do that make sense? I hope so. So, before public health was a thing, it wasn't really a lot of schools, universities that were um, talking about the program or promoting the program. Like it was kind of like he say, she say around that time. So it was just kind of like you kind of had to do your own research. So that is when I was like, I knew I still wanted to do something in health side. And at the time, I think the closest that they had was like health sciences. And I was like, that's not something that I really wanted to do. Um, so I waited, and then I came across a program at SNHU, um, which was the bachelor's in community health education. So like I was saying, I decided to be to get my bachelor's in community health education. Now prior to this, I was going to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College for pre-med. At the time, they were a fresh school, and I just didn't like the whole setup. I did not like Canvas. No, that is dope. We're just gonna say I ain't like Canvas, but everything about the school was just not it. So yeah, I had to take a break again, and that is when I decided to get my bachelor's in something else. Um, but if you guys don't know what a community health educator is, it's basically, I'm just gonna put it somewhere right here, like the rundown. Anyway, a community health educator is what helps empower. It deals with how it can improve the community and how you can just strive for a better quality of life of well-being. That's like the short term of it. But the longer term I will put, on the side while I'm talking. Um so this particular degree you can get through Southern New Hampshire University, and the only reason why I chose them was because at the time they were the only school that was popping up for online, in my opinion. Now they might have had some other um schools online for community health education, but that was back in like 2018, 2019. So it's been a long time since a lot of things have progressed now versus then. So definitely be mindful, like think about way back when and then up until now of how much access we have. Um so I chose a route with Southern New Hampshire University. So the thing about their program is that it does prepare you for your chess. So if you are interested in taking or getting your certification, your chess certification, then that whole program is geared around chess. Now, do I wish that they would have had at least exam prep, where you can actually prepare for the exam or something like that? I would have loved that. Or what most colleges used to do back then, if it was a program that they knew that you needed your certification in, they would either give you a voucher towards it or give you the study material towards that exam you had to take, or they would test you then there at the college. But so much has changed, y'all. Like so much has changed. But we are gonna talk more in depth. All right, y'all. So back at the ranch. So I'm gonna go more in depth of be wise about what you choose to go to school for, because in today's society, let's just say not every degree choice deserves your time. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying that, because we all have it so confused as when we go to college, we want to get our degree in finance, get our degree in business, and I am not talking down about nobody or have anything to say about what their preference and what they choose to use. But out of my experience, when you really sit down and look at majority of those degrees, a lot of people, I'm just going to say that they don't always get to use them how they think that they're going to use them, if that makes sense. So what I'm saying is I can get a degree in business, but what am I going to do with it? Now most people say, "Oh, I want to start my own business." And not everybody becomes an entrepreneur, and not everybody has a degree that becomes an entrepreneur. Um in this case, you, depending on the career choice and the path that you want to use, you don't really need a degree for that. You can just get like small certificates or anything like that, just to kind of like level yourself in the even playing field of your knowledge. And so I really believe that if you are going to go to college, make sure it's for something that you really want, analyze it, and say, how would this benefit me 5 years from now? And preferably try to get a specialty degree if your minor is in a specialty, but and if you don't get something then during your bachelor phase or your associate phase, then get you a specialty degree if you decide to continue to get your master's or your doctorate, because that is what's going to set you apart from everybody else. You want to set yourself apart. That is just what makes the process a lot easier. Um, but you will stand out more. Now, depending on if you come on with all the different types of certifications like the LSS, which is the Six Sigma certifications, where you get your white belt all the way up to your black belt. I don't have that. I mean, it's specifically for like letting employers know that you are familiar with project management and things of that nature. But I honestly just feel that if you went to all this schooling, you got all of this information, it's kind of similar information, but the difference is it's just more geared towards more of the project management side of things, which is not something bad. Like again, I'm not okay. So not to toot anybody's horn, I'm not downplaying anybody's success and how far they came. Um, it's just so many pros and cons to a lot of things that you really just have to sit down. Sorry, y'all. Sit down and analyze what it is that you want to do for your future. So, where I was going with this? Oh, so yeah. So be mindful of what you want to choose. The next thing is to, if you're going, oh, it's both. If you're going to choose that degree path, speak with your student financial advisor and discuss your financial aid. Why financial aid is important? Because not everybody has the opportunity to have a job that will pay for them to go to school or come into a boatload of scholarships. So not everybody is at those places or just be able to afford to just pay it in general. And so you want to be mindful of your subsidized and unsubsidized loans and how that work. So you get a certain cap for your loans. Be mindful whether it's you're going to school for part-time or full-time. Me personally, I am not a full-time student, so I go part-time and I take now in my undergrad getting my bachelor's, I did take two classes at a time. But at the time I was young in college, y'all. Y'all gotta understand, like I graduated college at 16. So I was very young in school. So I didn't have anything to worry about at that time when I was getting my bachelor's. So I like 18, 19. So I was still living with my parents. So I didn't have a lot of stress and things like that that I had to worry about, which is why I was able to take two or more classes. So I was technically a full-time student at that time. So you know, your loan service provider will be the one to tell you yay or nay. Luckily, I have been blessed to have a loan services provider that has allowed me to go from two to one. Because, of course, as you start adulting, life starts doing some things. Um, so now I am taking one course at a time, but I make sure that the trajectory. So I am making sure that the trajectory of where the time is what I see is for graduation, basically. Now, look, freshmen, however you feel, if you've been out of school for so long and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just, do not get overwhelmed. Don't. Because why? School is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be there. Now, unless other things happen. But it's not going anywhere. So do not be so hard on yourself in the beginning. Do not be hard on yourself because it's not always about the grade, but it's about the outcome. And your biggest outcome is just to get that degree. Okay? Get that degree. Say it with me. Get that degree. Um so the outcome is graduating, walking across the stage. If you are someone that is the first in your family to graduate from college or how whatever it is, that is what you need to keep your mind focused on is getting that degree. um so the one thing I had to keep telling myself, because a lot of people get so focused on their grade point average, which it does matter in some cases. But at the same time, don't be so hard on yourself on trying to be a 4.0. Okay? Your girl was never always a 4.0. I always treated 3.9. How frustrating is that? 3.9. Always. So I was right next to a 4.0. But, I just had to tell myself, like, wait, girl, you still doing good. You getting up out of here. You still graduated. I think I was summa cum laude. Yeah, honor roll, all that. So I still graduated with some things and accomplishments. And the biggest thing about college is networking, meeting people. You save those people contacts that you meet, because you never know when you're going to need them. Whatever professors you build a relationship with, you never know when you're going to need them. Trust me, because I have professors that I'll hit them up and I'll be like, hey, can I use you for a job reference? They're like, yeah. So building relationships along the way is the next thing that you should strive towards while you're in school. If your school is offering any free electives or anything like that, take advantage of them, because those are very beneficial too. So as I was getting my undergrad degree, I had 15 free electives. I now asked them for the catalog, because I was strategically precise about what it was that I wanted to get out of my free elective. So I did stuff like international business, little finance courses here and there, agile, like just things to pivot me. Okay. So although my degree was in community health, and what people don't realize, your undergrad, everybody takes generalized classes. So you're going to take your basic English, you're going to get your math, you're going to get all that in there. So don't be stressed out in the beginning, because everybody has to take that. No matter how far, now unless you do like a dual enrollment program in high school, that does help. But for the most part, you will start from the bottom on up. And just take advantage of that, because you probably like, oh, I know how to do this in the third. Then you realize, like, dang, I need a refresher. So, yeah, take advantage of that. And y'all look, this is my charcuterie breakfast thing. So I was gonna do some fruit. I forgot, trying to make sure I get this video to y'all, and I got some tea, some of my agua in here. So moving forward to my MPH. Now, what made me choose to get my MPH at the same school? Okay, so I stayed at SNHU because they were the only one with a concentration in global public health. So you're able to expand outside of generalized public health into global public health, and from a globally perspective. This was online too, which was very beneficial for people who again don't have time to do that. But I wanted an emphasis on a global perspective, because then it covers other avenues. Again, you want to make sure that you're getting quality and information out of your degrees. So be strategic about what you choose, because what you choose matters in the long run. So their global health concentration program will allow you to analyze health trends in public health offices, to implement educational programs in the field. It will also help you focus on issues in your community or take you to other countries in dire need of assistance. You will also know how to raise awareness of health as basic human right, whether it's through research, financial assistance, or policy change. In addition, you'll learn how to navigate complexities of working in global health environments, critically examine pressing global health issues, and create solutions that are meaningful and effective and ethnically sound. So, your career outlook, again, you will be able to work in disaster relief organizations, multilateral agencies, research institutions, and governmental and non governmental agencies. So, I will try to insert the link in the comment section or description. I don't even know if I made it that far yet. But yeah, I will insert the link to everything here. But the reason why I chose to stick with them was because of that focus. Because I was like, okay, if I travel outside the country or anything like that, and I decide I want to, work globally, I can work globally. So that was something that I knew I needed under my belt. So getting my MPH was something that was important to me. They do have other programs that have generalized MPH. Like I said, there are so many programs online, and I can list those. Just comment below if you want me to list those, or you guys can go and research that on your own. But those are just some things that I saw that stood out to me, and I was already at the school, so why not? So remember that, back to what I was saying further early in the video, talking about your financial aid, because you do have undergrad financial aid award amount, and then you have your graduate financial aid award amount. So be mindful, those are two different award amounts, and they tell you what your cap off limit is. Now your girl is planning on getting her doctorate. Okay. Hint hint. So that is another process that I'm going to talk about, because the choices was like a smorgasbord, and yeah, it was a lot. But I dwindled it on down to 4 schools, and I will talk about those 4 schools in my next video. So the biggest goal for me is, how can I stand out and create a place for myself in this health sector? And it seems like it's like, oh, okay, I'm so ready, and that time is gonna come. It is. Not saying I'm not involved in any avenues, but you're just ready just to do what you gotta do. So this might be like a 3-part, not series, but like one series, maybe 4 episodes. Because y'all, your girl is also in school for her associates, but I start my doctorate next year after I graduate from my associates. So yeah, so this might just be like a one series but 4 parts of explaining why I made the choice. But overall, I love public health. It meets what I want to do, how I want to improve quality of life, how I want to enhance policies and procedures, and come back and make change, whether it's through equity, whether it's through health and wellness, diversity, whatever it is. That is where I want to be, and I feel like I'm still making good change, because those same changes also help the clinical side of things and get involved in that, and the data side of things. And so yeah, I'm just excited. But I will catch you guys in part 2 of the video. Bye.